Senior Communications Officer, Mr. Jack Gumba, Police Superintendent, Mr. Lyndon David, Assistant Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Ms. Russell Jeffers, schools present, the general public and media houses, a pleasant morning. Good morning, schools. At this time, we will have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father and our God, we thank you for this day. We pray, God, as we are here to raise awareness on this day as we celebrate International Disaster Reduction. We pray, God, that you will be in the midst of us. We ask, God, that you will be with the children, those that will be presenting today. In Jesus' name, amen. International Day for Disaster Reduction is held annually on the 13th of October. Celebrates the way that people and communities around the world reduce their exposure to disaster and raises awareness about the risk that they may face. This includes disaster prevention, mitigation, and preparedness. Let us therefore substantially reduce disaster mortality, reduce the number of persons affected in St. Kitts and Nevis, reduce direct disaster economic loss in relation to global gross domestic produce, reduce disaster damages to infrastructure and disruption of basic services, such as health and educational facilities. This we must do by 2030.
Students, hands up, down. Good job. Good job. Indeed, you have all done a very wonderful job to be here for us to discuss the multi-hazards that can impact Nevis. Today is a special day, which is part of a very big event called the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction. And what makes it very much important is because you are part of it. Clap for yourselves for that. Lovely. This comes from what we call the UNISDR that deals with everything known as disasters. Who can name any of the disasters that can impact Nevis? Volcano, earthquake, tsunami, or some landslide. You name all of them. UNISDR is what governs us, helps the entire world to make sure when those things happen, we have very little impact on mankind. So they control every part of it, and we are just a small subset of it that makes it a whole. What are we going to do today? As part of their plans in reducing disaster risk reduction, they celebrate it on the 13th of October every year. Now we have a program where all the primary schools, including yourselves, will help us tell the general public how to be safe about those hazards. So today, on to parents who are with us, it marks the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction. The 13th of October is actually the day of the preparation. But what we do today, we involve the school to play a role as part of that program. So they are going to showcase with us hazards that they are responsible for. And how are they going to showcase it? They make us understand what to do before, during, and after their occurrences. If children can be ready, then we know the society is greater in resilience. If children can know what to do before, during, and after, we are sure of a long-term culture of safety, because they eventually, from being a messenger, becomes the message. So today, I encourage you all to enjoy what the children have for us. Thank you.
You feel a shaking? Boy, that just go up and shake up the place. What you say? You like you want a piece of the road.
No, man, the shaking lasts less than a minute. There got to be an earthquake.
And we did not prepare before the earthquake. We should have had an emergency kit. Know the safe spots to meet our family after the earthquake and turn off gas, water, and electricity.
Girl, I was frightened. I was ready to run down on pier and catch up a cider.
Boy, you crazy? I can assure you, you would have been dead man today because you're supposed to drop, cover, hold on.
Well, you better show me.
Tell me, can you feel it? Can you feel it? You feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Can you feel it? You feel it? Watch it. I mean, say, hey, better come to the DCH. Hey, better come to the DCH. Hey, better come to the DCH. Hey, better come. Give me some action. Chop, cover, hold on. Chop, cover, hold on. Chop, cover, hold on. Chop, cover, hold on.
Boy, after the earthquake, right? Me got to go call my friend them.
No, you can't call. It's better to text. You may block phone lines for emergency workers. Look out also for aftershocks. They are not usually strong, but they can cause damage.
So you say,
Don't forget, drop, cover, hold on. Be earthquake ready.
Don't be caught by a landslide. The earth can bury you. So what do?
Listen to the local news and look for signs of a landslide.
Ask questions if rocks around you seem to be moving, because that's a sign of a landslide.
New cracks and bulges in the streets and sidewalks.
That's the sign of a landslide. Drops in the road. That's the sign of a landslide. Soil moving when the soil is saturated with water. That's the sign of a landslide.
leaning telephone poles, trees, and fences.
That's a sign of a landslide.
Increased water levels of streams or guts.
That's a sign of a landslide.
Doors and windows begin to stick.
That's a sign of a landslide. Evacuation must be considered when there is a sign of a landslide.
Official tsunami warnings may not be possible. Be aware of concrete, reinforced multi-story buildings nearby that can be used for evacuation to upper floors if necessary. If you live in a low-lying area, for instance near the beach, identify the quickest way to get to high grounds. Teach and practice your evacuation plan with all family members. Everyone needs to know what to do in case all members are not together. Emergency supplies, equipment, and first aid kits should be readily available. What to do during a tsunami? If you are at the beach and recognize signs of a tsunami, leave the area and move immediately to higher grounds. If swept away by a tsunami, look for something to use as a raft. A tsunami is not a single wave, but a series of waves that can come ashore for hours. The first wave may not be the largest, so stay out of danger areas until an all clear is issued by a recognized authority. What to don't do when a tsunami is happening. Do not wait for an official warning before evacuating. Authorities may not have enough time to issue a tsunami warning. If a tsunami warning is issued, never go down to the beach to watch the waves. Do not try to surf the tsunami. What to do after a tsunami? If possible, stay tuned to a radio or television to get the latest emergency information. Help injured or trapped people and call for help if necessary. Open windows and doors to help dry buildings. Remove mud while it is still moist to give walls and floors an opportunity to dry. Check food supply and test drinking water. Fresh food that has come in contact with flood water may not be contaminated and should be discarded. Check for damage to sewer and water lines.
Be tsunami smart. When at the beach, if you
Feel a strong shaking.
hear a strange roar from the sea,
Water with an unusual distance from the shore.
don't wait. Run to higher grounds. Today, our topic is tsunami.
A tsunami is a powerful wave that can cause great destruction.
A tsunami can sometimes be caused from an underwater earthquake.
We are standing on an unsafe tsunami zone. So if you
Feel a strong shaking.
Hear a strange roar from the sea.
water withdraw, run to the hills.
Volcano. A volcano is a mountain that opens downward to a pool of molten or melted rock below the surface of the earth. Volcanoes are vents through which molten rock can escape to the earth's surface. When pressure from within the molten rock becomes too great, an eruption can occur. Eruptions can be quiet or explosive. When an eruption occurs, there can be lava flows, flattened landscapes, poisonous gases, flying rocks, and ash that can sometimes travel hundreds of miles downwind. The danger area around a volcano covers approximately 20 miles in all directions. Some danger may exist 100 miles or more away from a volcano.
We learned about volcanoes at school today. Nevis has a dormant volcano, which means it may erupt sometime in the future. What are we going to do if that happens?
Tally, let us tell you what you are supposed to do before, during, and after a volcanic eruption.
Before a volcano eruption, stay aware, prepare, be ready. Do these things before a volcanic eruption occurs. Build an emergency kit. Be sure to include masks. Make a family communication plan.
During a volcanic eruption, be calm. Look out for lava flows. Look upstream before crossing a bridge to make sure a lava flow is not coming. If it is, do not cross the bridge. The lava flow could destroy it. After a volcanic eruption, listen to safety officials. Text, don't talk, as you may block the phone lines for emergency workers.
Drought. A drought is a period of below average precipitation in a given region, resulting in a prolonged shortages in the water supply. A drought can last for months or years, or may be declared after as few as 15 days. There are 4 types of drought. The first drought type is an agricultural drought. It mostly concerns farmers and others in agricultural occupations, more so than the general public. The second drought type is called a meteorological drought. This drought, it's the kind of most of us think of when we hear that word. A long dry period with no rain. Third, we come to a hydrological drought. This occurs when the amount of snow and rainfall in a given area drops from an extended period of time, leading to the lower amounts of available water in both surface water, rivers, streams, and reservoirs, and subsurface water. The fourth drought is a cyclonomic drought. This drought is also the humans seem to feel the hardest. This one affects the general public when you go to the supermarket and you find the price of food has gone. That is a result of socioeconomic drought. To sum it up, when the shortage of water leads to a shortage of crops or other products, that is a socioeconomic drought.
Preventing droughts. Here are some strategies you can use at home to conserve water before a drought. Inside your home, never pour water down the drain when there may be another use for it. For example, use it to water your indoor plants or gardens.
Repair dripping faucets by replacing washers. Do you know that 1 drop per second wastes 2,700 gallons of water per year? Check all plumbing for leaks and have any leaks repaired by a plumber. Insulate your water pipes to reduce heat loss and prevent them from breaking. Choose appliances that are more energy and water efficient outside of your house. Use plants that are native to you and would not require so much water to survive. Small plants require less water to become established. Group plants together based on similar water needs. Install irrigation devices that are most water efficient for each. Use such as micro and drip irrigation and soaker hoses. Use mulch to retain moisture in the soil. Mulch also helps control weeds that compete with landscape for plants for water. Avoid purchasing recreational water toys that require a constant stream of water. Avoid installing ornamental water features such as fountains unless they use recirculated water. When rain is falling, try to collect some of it. Use it for watering your plants. Contact your local water provider for information and assistance.
During a drought, we should always observe local restrictions on water use during a drought. If the water department tells you that there is a shortage in water supply, do not water your lawn, wash your car, or other non-essential uses. To help ensure there is enough water for essential uses, contact your local government for current information and suggestions. Try not to flush the toilet unnecessarily. Put tissues, insects, and other similar waste in the trash rather than the toilet. Do not take baths. Take short showers. Turn on water only to get wet and lather and then get to rinse off. Do not let the water run while brushing your teeth, washing your face, or shaving. Place a bucket in the shower to catch excess water for watering plants.
Kitchen. If you have a dishwasher, only use it when it is fully loaded. Use the light wash feature, if available, to use less water. And wash dishes by filling 2 containers with soapy water and the other with rinse water containing a small amount of chlorine bleach. Clean vegetables in a pan filled with water rather than running the water from the tap. Store drinking water in the refrigerator. Do not let the tap run while you are waiting for. Avoid wasting water and waiting for it to get hot. Capture it for other uses, such as plant watering or heat it on a stove or a microwave. Avoid rinsing dishes before placing them in the dishwasher. Just remove large particles of food. Most dishwashers can clean soiled dishes very well, so dishes do not have to bring rinse before washing. Avoid using running water to thaw meat or other frozen foods. Defrost food overnight in the refrigerator or use the defrost setting on your microwave.
Outdoor water conservation tips while in a drought. Car washing. If you wash your own car or use it to shut off nozzle, that can be adjusted down to a fine spray on your hose. Lawn care. Avoid watering your lawn. Watering your lawn and water only when needed. A heavy rain takes away the need from watering for up to 2 weeks. Most of the year, Lawns only need 1 inch of water per week. If your lawn does require watering, do so early in the morning or later in the evening when temperatures are cooler. Check your sprinkler system often. Adjust sprinklers so only your lawn is watered and not the house, sidewalk, or street. Avoid leaving sprinklers or hose untainted. Do you know that garden hose can pour out 600 gallons of or more in only a few hours? In extreme drought, allow lawns to die in favor or saving trees and large shrubs. You will notice that as soon as we get a shower of rain, grass will be green overnight.
Hurricanes are severe tropical storms that form in the southern Atlantic Ocean, Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, and in the eastern Pacific Ocean. They gather heat and energy through contact with warm water, while evaporation from the seawater increases their power. Hurricanes rotate in a counterclockwise or anti-clockwise direction around the center of the hurricane called the eye. They have winds of 74 miles per hour or more. They can bring heavy rainfall, large waves that can damage buildings, cars, or trees, and strong winds.
Hurricanes are most common between June and November. They are known to affect Caribbean islands.
Before a hurricane, build an emergency kit. Make a family communication plan. Bring indoor items inside like potted plants, patio furniture, and garbage cans inside.
During, don't open the refrigerator or freezer in case there's a power cut. You would want the cold air to stay in. Stay away from windows and glass doors, they can hurt you. Don't go outside when rain or wind stops. This is the eye of the storm or a short rest. The rain and winds will start again.
If you are a child, don't go outside without an adult. Don't go near any wires that are loose or dangling. They can electrocute you. Be alert for the smell of gas. Don't drink water from the faucet unless safety officials say so. Text, don't talk, as you may block the phone line for emergency workers.
Don't go outside when the wind blows. Stay away from glasses and windows.
This is a message from the Ivor Waters Primary School. Are you hurricane ready?
This is a warning. Get ready, get ready, get ready. The storms are coming. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Yo, you better get on your first aid kit. Cause when this time hit, boy, you might get sick. Replenish any special medical items for you, the elders and your parents. Get your bottles of water, your fruits and veg. And fish and meat, you have that check. Cause you never know when Irma will strike again. Maybe not, but she a go send she children.
Prepare to face any storm with no fear. Protect your loved ones during and after. Assist your family and community. Be prepared.
Facing hurricanes, don't forget to use a brain. Please follow the rules and use the following tools. Don't go outside when the wind blows. Stay away from glasses and windows. Listen to the safety instructions.
That's a little introduction. Don't go outside when the wind blows.
Stay away from glass doors and windows. Get your batteries, toilet paper and fuel. Not just that,
alone, but any other tool. Get all you need for your proper hygiene. Remember that your health is stay clean. So you never know when your power will be gone. So better invest in a generator. Think likewise about all of your pets. Food and water for them will be best.
Prepare
You don't know
to face any storm with no fear. Protect your loved ones during and after. Assist your family and community. Be prepared.
Facing hurricanes, don't forget to use a brain. Please follow the rules and use the following tools. Don't go outside when the wind blows. Stay away from glass doors and windows. Listen to the safety instructions.
That's a little introduction. Don't go outside when the wind blows.
Stay away from glass doors and windows. Facing hurricanes, don't forget to use a brain. Please follow the rules and use the following tools. Don't go outside when the wind blows. Stay away from glass doors and windows. Listen to the safety instructions.
That's a little introduction. Don't go outside when the wind blows.
Stay away from glass doors and windows.
Hurricane preparedness alert. Reminder, when disaster strikes, the time to prepare has passed.
Don't go outside when the wind blows. Stay away from glass doors and windows.
What is heat? Heat kills by pushing the human body beyond its limits. In extreme heat and high humidity, which is when the air has moisture and feels sticky, the body must work extra hard to maintain normal temperature and keep the body comfortable. A heat wave is an extended period of extreme heat, and there is often high humidity.
Build an emergency kit.
Make a family communication plan.
Keep windows closed but get morning and afternoon suns.
Do it. Stay inside an air-conditioned area as much as possible.
Drink plenty of water. This is your body air conditioning.
Wear loose clothes in light colors. Dark clothes absorb sun rays.
Wear a hat dime wind to protect your face and head.
After.
Don't eat any food that was in the refrigerator if you were without power for more than a day.
Erosion is defined as the removal of rocks and soil by wind, water, ice, and gravity. Wind, water, ice, and gravity is also known as the agents of erosion.
Weathering involves two processes, physical, chemical, that often work together to break down rocks. Both processes occur in place. No movement is involved in weathering.
When rain falls to the earth, it can evaporate, sink into the ground, or flow over the land as runoff. When it flows over land, erosion occurs. Runoff picks up pieces of rocks and runs downhill, tiny grooves called rills, into the land. How much erosion takes place determined by the sum amount of water, slope, speed, and surface.
Wind can play an important role by carrying material, especially sand and clay, from one place to another. As the wind blows, it picks up small particles of sand, sediment, and blasts large rocks with the sand, or sediment, cutting and shaping the rock. The intensity of wind erosion is determined by some amount of sand, speed, slope, and surface.
Glaciers wear down landscape by picking up and carrying debris that moves across the land along the ice. Glaciers can pick up and carry sediment that ranges in size from sand grains to boulders bigger than houses, moving like a conveyor belt or bulldozer. A single glacier can move millions of tons of material.
How much erosion takes place is determined by some glaciers are massive. Slope, speed, surface.
Gravity erosion is better known as mass movement and is defined as the transfer of rock and soil down slope by direct action of gravity without a flowing medium, such as water or ice. Some of the best examples of mass movement are creep, rockfall, slump, landslides, avalanches.
Some ways to prevent erosions. 1. Plant grass and shrubs. 2. Add mulch or rocks. 3. Use mulch matting to hold vegetation on slopes. 4. Put down fiber logs. 5. Build retaining walls. 6. Improve drainage. 7. Reduce watering if possible. And 8. Avoid soil compaction.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Mubin.
Today we'll be learning about floods. A flood happens during heavy rains, when river overflows, when ocean waves come on shore, or when dams or levees break. This is the most common natural weather event. Flooding may only be a few inches of water, or it may cover a house to the rooftop. Floods that happen very quickly are called flash floods. Where can we find floods? Floods can occur in every Caribbean island. Some floods develop slowly, and some can build in just a few minutes. People who live in low-lying areas near the beach are at even greater risks. What should we do before a flood? Tariana.
Before a flash flood, you should build an emergency kit. Tell an adult if you hear a flood warning.
What should we do during a flood? Tinika.
During a flash flood, we should listen to weather authorities and safety officials. If there is any possibility of a flash flood, we should head to higher grounds. Do not walk through moving water. Even 6 inches of water can make you fall.
What should we do after a flood? Nyasha.
After a flood, we should stay away from flood water. It could be contaminated. We should stay away from moving water. It can knock you down. We should stay out of the way of emergency workers.
To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Prevention is better than cure.
Fire Officer Cornelius and Fire Officer Edwards. This is what you call a BA set. This is used when fire is in the house and there's no air or anything. So we put them on so we could use it as to get air and so. You have 2 methods in order to get it on. You have overhead and you have a backpack way. I want to show you how to do it.
Now, Cornelius will show you how to do the overhead.
This is the face mask for the BA set. This is used to put on your face and the ear can come through here.
A pleasant good morning. As you can see, the officer has mounted his BA set. The BA abbreviates breathing apparatus. It is used to enter smoke-filled confinements. At this point, he's adjusting his face mask, which would allow him to breathe efficiently. He now puts on his helmet for facial protection, which completes his donning of the BA sets. As you can see, the officer is fully equipped in terms of being properly clothed with the appropriate firefighting material. He has on gloves. His jacket is somewhat heat-proof, not entirely fireproof, of course. His pants, and we have some very good boots which can withstand some very high temperatures. He's now breathing as he would normally would without the breathing apparatus. The breathing apparatus allows him to do so. And now he can enter a smoke-filled confinement while breathing properly and not being impaired by the smoke. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is how we mount or don our breathing apparatus. Thank you very much. The fire extinguisher is a small firefighting device which is used to extinguish small or incipient fires. And I must stress, small or incipient fires. We don't expect you to attempt to extinguish a fire that is fully engulfed. And so again, it is only used to extinguish small fires. First, we have here, we shall outline first the basic parts of the extinguisher. We have the handle. We have the fire safety pin. When pulled out, it allows the user to squeeze the handle, thus expelling the fire extinguishing material. Then we have the hose or the nozzle through which the extinguishing media is expelled. And then we also have the cylinder in which the fire extinguishing media is stored. And it is stored under pressure or with nitrogen gas. And then, of course, we have the gauge, which tells us whether it is charged, needs to be recharged, or if it is overcharged. The abbreviation that guides us in using the fire extinguisher is PASS, P-A-S-S. P being pull the pin, A, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, and then squeeze. For the purpose of this demonstration, unfortunately we won't squeeze, we won't expel the extinguishing media, because this type of extinguishing media, if it's expelled, is basically a one-time use. It would need to be recharged. And then after P and A we have S, and then the final S is sweep. When we sweep, it will effectively extinguish the fire. And that is how you use the fire extinguisher. Again, it is a small firefighting device that is used to extinguish small or incipient fires. So if the fire is huge, will you attempt to extinguish the fire with the extinguisher? Of course not. What will you do? You run, you raise the alarm, and you call the experts. Good? Thank you very much. You have been a wonderful audience.
A blessed morning to all. I am pleased to observe the continued and creative involvement of our primary schools in being messengers of safety procedures. I would like to encourage you, teachers, and students to continue this positive venture. They are reminding us that there are other likely disasters other than hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis that we are to be prepared for. At this junction, we are pleased to invite one and all to continue to participate in our week of activities to celebrate disaster risk reduction. Let us remember that disaster can strike at any time, so always be prepared.
Good morning to everyone. Good morning, students. The Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force is very pleased to be here with you this morning to let you know the role of the police before, during, and after any circumstance or situation that may result into a disaster. Our role can be of two. We can be there first to provide security for fire and rescue services department to carry out, whether to extinguish a fire, whether they are there to inspect a building after a massive earthquake, or we can dare to investigate whether or not a collapsed building was caused by man activities, or if we have an explosion, if it was intentionally done or it was just an accident. Or even when we do have hurricanes, we still have to go and assist in terms of search and rescue. Before a hurricane passes, there are certain things that must be done. And police also involved in this activity. Therefore, there will be times when we have to cause an evacuation of low-lying areas wherein we may have high tide that will cause water to get on roads, or if houses are nearby, cause destruction to the houses. In terms of a mudslide, we will activate after the event of a mudslide. However, having received information from NEMA, we might be able to cordon off an area because we believe that heavy rain may cause a mudslide. When it comes to tsunamis, the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, its telecommunication department is the tsunami warning focal point. And what this simply means is that whenever an earthquake occurs in our region, we will receive information from the Tsunami Warning Center in the Pacific territory, indicating to us that there was an earthquake and whether or not we'll be impacted. So, this can happen anytime during the day. And because we're open, or we are there for you 24 hours, we do provide this service. Whenever we get this information, we provide information to NEMA, Fire, Defense Force, other police stations throughout the Federation, and any other relevant authority who would need this information. Once this information is given, then a decision has to be made based on the information. So, most of the times when we do get that information, we are not in harm's way. So apart from hurricanes, apart from traffic accidents wherein we may have a number of people get injured, a fire, the police also involved in tsunamis wherein we have to warn persons. I must say to you, police, defense force, and fire, or any first responder agency in the Federation or in any country, as a matter of fact, whilst most people are running away from the area, we tend to go to the area. Now, if we do not go, that's a problem, because there will be survivors in case of a building collapse, or you may have someone, unfortunately, die during that collapsing of the building. Therefore, we have to go and search for that person, ensure that everybody been accounted for, and this means dead or alive. We, in all circumstances, prefer we do find persons alive because we know what death causes. But we have to look at reality. Reality is, in most cases, sometimes you have fatal or fatalities. Recently, we had an earthquake in Haiti, and we know we had a number of buildings collapsed over there. Prior to that, a few years ago, there was a massive earthquake in Haiti. I was fortunate to go there and see the damage, and I tell you, the damage was great. And this one, again, it seems like it also created more damage to the infrastructure that was there already. So, to you, our students, we want you to understand that whenever there is some form of disaster, your police force is there to ensure that we look at matters to ensure that if there is something to investigate, we investigate it properly and assist fire and rescue in terms of searching, cordoning off the area to ensure that they work safely and in a speedy manner so that we can get back on the road of recovery. So my word to you is, as mentioned by a school that came before me, always pay attention to what the local authorities have to say to you. If the instructions do not go down that road, as a matter of fact, do not go beyond this point, follow it. If the instructions are traffic diversion, go up that road. Go up the road. If the instructions are you have to evacuate, evacuate. The instructions are again, until the all clear is given, do not return. These are there for your safety, and these are there also to ensure that first responders and other persons will be able to carry out their function in a much safe and secure environment. So I want to thank you, and I do hope that at the end of today's session that you will learn so many more about disaster, that if for some reason that a disaster said to strike our federation, and more so here on the island of Nevis, that each and every one of us will know what to do. Thank you very much, and do enjoy the rest of the day.